a month or so, possibly 2 months, won't exactly be suited to playing rugby league. It's about -4 today. There's snow in Toronto. Altogether, it's pretty inhospitable, whereas here at Emerald Headingley, it is chilly, but it is dry. There's a sunny outlook, and the pitch is firm and fast, and it's all set fair for the Toronto Wolfpack. We wanted a European Super League, we had that. Well, now we've got a transatlantic Super League, and it's just about to get underway. James Child just waiting while various mascots clear the playing area around the edges of the field before he gets this game underway. And it'll be the Castleford Tigers who'll get things going through the boot of their new recruit, Danny Richardson, and Richardson almost finds touch. That was well salvaged by the Wolfpack.
Inventive kick by Danny Richardson. Low and hard towards that sideline, and wonderful gymnastics there by Lutelli.
Ricky Lutelli doing ever so well to deny what would have been head and feet for the Castleford Tigers from the resulting scrum.
It's one of the things you get with Richardson, a variety of quality kicks, penalty goals, field kicks, and one restart there as Toronto attempt to go wide in their first set.
It's with Hakim Maloudi, the French international, and now Andrew Dixon wants a St Helens player like Danny Richardson on the opposite side. Wallace kicks deep, and it's fielded by Jordan Rankin, going into this game buzzing following the arrival of baby daughter on Friday. He and his partner Chloe celebrating that. Not much time for Jordan Rankin to celebrate. That might come possibly this evening.
He did
if the Castleford Tigers have got the win.
He did a terrific job last year, played 10 times at fullback for the Castleford Tigers. As we see Paul McShane, another player who his 2019 was relatively quiet by his high standards. They want to lead that team, make sure he's at the forefront, following the big fella Liam Watts will, I'm sure, be part of that process as well.
Watts with the run. He was the only Castleford member to make the dream team last year. The kick is out on the full. The in-goal area's a bit tighter at Emerald Headingley at the moment. Well, they are, full stop, because they've had to just squeeze the pitch a little bit to comply with health and safety requirements.
Danny Richardson, as Phil said, he has the full box of tricks when he's kicking that ball. He'll be disappointed with that effort. We've got on display here two teams that like to throw the ball around. There's a lot of creativity. Very much encouraged by the coaches Brian McDermott and Darryl Powell. Two teams that traditionally, over the last 2 or 3 years, of course, Toronto only 3 years old, they like to throw the ball around, they like to ask questions and score some really exciting tries.
Ackers plays that ball. Now there is Wilkin, and short pass finds Andrew Dixon, making his 42nd consecutive appearance, Andrew Dixon. Now Mullally, once of the Leeds club, and that ball finds Lutelli, and Ricky Lutelli is a danger. He is a threat in this Toronto side. The Castleford Tigers are going to have to keep an eye on the former Cronulla man. Comes the other way, McCrone and Wallace, and it's on to Maloudi. Maloudi, a nice kick for Kay. Can Kay get there first? He can, and the first try for Toronto in Super League goes to Liam Kay, a try machine in the championship. And he gets Toronto underway in Super League. Maloudi with a delicate kick. McDermott already issuing instructions. But Liam Kay, over 150 career tries. And what a try that is to lay claim to. The first for Toronto in Super League.
Sensational try, wasn't it? Hakim Maloudi, another player who expresses himself. Both of these sides play with a philosophy rather than a game plan. Move the ball, spread the ball, let the ball do the work. A brave, courageous decision by the French centre to just dab the ball 8-10 metres behind the line. And Liam Kay, well, he scored a boatload of tries in his career, but none more important and more significant than that today.
Toronto's record try scorer. Look at that, 65 in 63 appearances. And his first in Toronto colours in the Super League. He played Super League with Wakefield back in 2013, did Liam Kay. Then has spent the rest of his career in the Championship. Now he is back in Super League. Blake Wallace with the goal-kicking duties. No Gareth O'Brien. O'Brien not injured, we're told. So Wallace getting the full-back role and getting the goal-kicking role, and is missed with that one.
Well, it's taken the Wolfpack less than 4 minutes to get the first 4-point try of the Super League campaign. What they've demonstrated here is they've got risk takers. If you want to get into the playoff positions, then you need players with skill, and you need ones willing to take a risk. He's put the ball through, and he's demonstrated the skill to invite his colleague, the winger on the right-hand side, to go through and ground. A massive boost. You saw the sense of relief amongst the Toronto team.
Darryl Powell looking on, long way to go. Jordan Rankin just couldn't get there to deny Liam Kay that try.
Up and square.
So Toronto at least have the satisfaction of getting first points on the board.
Surrender.
Big contingent of Castleford Tigers supporters behind the Wolfpack on the Western Terrace here at Emerald Headingley, this fantastic venue. That's the only part of the ground really that's still got to be developed. That's a high shot on Mellor. Richardson, I think the culprit.
Or was it Chase Blair, the man inside him, perhaps, Bill? I think in defence of Richardson.
A combination, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably right. It is Richardson, the taller one. I thought little and large.
Needs to bend his back, doesn't he, Richardson? But look at the ball movement. Toronto Wolfpack, even when they're close to their own line, using the ball, passing it to a teammate in a better position.
Here's Adam Sidlow in his 15th professional season, the big prop forward and one of the Toronto originals. Going back to their inception. The man who has galvanised them, David Argyle, not here today. He's back in Canada, but the family is represented. His sister Rebecca is at Headingley. She's a big fan. There's Lutelli driving the Wolfpack towards those Castleford Tigers posts. Macrone's pass. Here is Maludi again, and Maludi, on his day, he can be very effective.
Very unpredictable.
Yeah, he can be erratic. Toronto will be hoping that they can harness an effective version of him. That looks high.
Step back.
James Child didn't see anything wrong with the challenge. Here is Wilkin. Again, they come to this side. Long ball, Maludi couldn't get that. And instead, it's snapped up by Eden. And Eden, has he got the pace? Dixon chasing. They won't catch him. They won't catch Greg Eden. And Eden's going to go the length of the field towards those Castleford Tigers supporters who celebrate. Toronto chanced their arm again. Maludi couldn't take the pass, which dipped in front of him beyond his grasp, and it fell into the hands of the man they didn't want to get hold of it, Greg Eden. He's another try-scoring machine. We saw Liam Kay's record was Shenton. Eden has 74 tries in 71 appearances now. And that one, under the sticks, Castleford surely will take the lead.
Well, there's a balance of risk and reward with every pass that's thrown in a rugby league game here. But maybe the risk a little too high. They want to play with width. Long pass from Wilkin. Long ball again then, but Maludi can't take it in. And the one thing you know when you play against the Castleford side with Greg Eden in it, with interceptions, kicks, anything, he has the pace to outrun anybody on the field. He makes that look relatively easy and bring the ball closer to the post to convert this in. We make it easy, convert it into 6 points. Left to right pass, which Maludi can't take in. They had the Tigers stretch for numbers. Eden was a little nervous and apprehensive as the ball approached, but he had enough pace there when he picked it up cleanly. And that's just killed all of the enthusiasm that Toronto have had. Started this match with so much possession, but stand behind the post now, waiting for this conversion.
Danny Richardson poised to register his first Super League points for his new club. He does that and puts them 6-4 ahead. To be fair to Hakim Maludi, the pass from Josh McCrone was just dipping and
a little bit in front of him. You can see the left to right pass for a rugby league player, for the majority of rugby league players, is the most difficult one. He would want, if he had his time again, I think he'd make more of an effort to catch that ball. Having watched the Toronto Wolfpack for a number of years, the involvement that players like John Wilkin have early on in the tackle count, I bet he's touched the ball 12 times already, John Wilkin, not been tackled with the ball. And that's something Castleford Tigers might be aware of. Stand off, hold back, and let's see if we can pick up some of those mistakes.
Here is Liam Watts for the Castleford Tigers, their Player of the Year in 2019. Now Milner, just inside their own 40. Now Grant Millington, who was a bit of an injury doubt before this contest. Millington, now 33 years of age, in his 9th Super League season.
Good tackle. Chopped him in two and driven him backwards there. Good shot from Andrew Ackers.
And the kick from Jake Truman. And it's fielded by Blake Wallace.
And a good chase as well. Castleford Tigers with Danny Richardson, the number 7. Jake Truman, that left-footed short kicking game. It's how refreshing it is to see such young, great British halfbacks in the game. To my knowledge, the youngest halfback partnership, British one that is, since the great Rob Burrow and Danny Maguire.
Here is Hakim Maludi once again. Much travelled Maludi, that began playing his rugby league in around Carcassonne. That pass eventually reaches Tom Olberson, who does well to get it heading in the right direction. And then Mellor, little kick, but just having to hit and hope there, Mellor. And Eden, they've got to keep an eye on Greg Eden. You've got to keep an eye on Eden, because when he's in this sort of mood, he can cause chaos. On the halfway line with Michael Shenton now. The Tigers' long-serving captain. Watts. Rankin shoves aside the first challenge. Really feisty fullback.
They are starting to break tackles now, Castleford Tigers. A sloppy set in possession for Toronto, and the Tigers on the attack.
Blair stumbles as he took that past the former Melbourne Storm man. Millington now. Millington. That's the 5th tackle, bang in front of those posts. The ball is with Truman. Truman puts the brakes on, stepping. Truman trying to get the offload away. It ricochets. It's still alive, says the referee, and then it goes to ground. Then the referee brings them back, and that'll be the turnover.
It was an audacious offload, as we see George Griffin, who ended up in possession. Both back rowers agile, fit, fast. Unfortunately, can't keep hold of that ball. George Griffin.
Great example, though, Truman again running at defenders, causing trouble. It was the last play, but he is very good on his feet, stronger than probably a lot of people anticipate. When he gets hit, he can ride a tackle. Trapped in possession, didn't get the ball. And now the relief for the Toronto team here. Referee's awarded a penalty. Castleford offside, setting off too quickly. They are avoidable penalties.
So that's a welcome penalty, their first. Second for the Wolfpack, beg your pardon. It takes them just up to the halfway line. Josh McCrone, their captain. Now here is Anthony Mullally on his 10th club. Leeds Rhinos was one of those previous clubs. Short pass finds Dixon. Good defence. Wallace is tackled, and that's 3 tackles gone. McCrone. Here is Wilkin. Wilkin works the run around. Mellor then back to Olberson, and Olberson goes to the heart of the Castleford Tigers' defence. It's about 15 metres out now with John Wilkin. And they're not afraid to try it again. Maludi gets away from the first challenge. Strength from Hakim Maludi, but eventually it was Truman who brought him down. On the last now. Little kick into the corner by McCrone, and they will get the ball back because Eden is collared.
What a quality kick. The previous 2 or 3 times that Toronto have got to the back end of the set, it's been a little bit erratic, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Josh McCrone. He's kicking it into the corner. He forces Greg Eden. We've seen a couple of nice touches from Greg Eden. You're right, Bill. If he's allowed to have a confident day, let's say it like that, if he's allowed to play on the front foot with confidence, there's nothing he can't do in this game.
Well, if you tuned in on Friday night, you'll see St Helens convert these sort of situations. Goal line dropouts when they put their opponents under pressure, repeated set into tries. Can the Wolfpack do it now to take the lead again?
Sidlow, look at that, on his knees, then back up again. He's left two Castleford Tigers players on the deck behind him.
Milner is one of them, and George Griffin is the other. There was an almighty collision, wasn't there? He's so important to Castleford Tigers, Adam Milner.
Oh dear.
There's the head clash.
Poor George Griffin was collateral damage there with Milner's head.
He's a big man, isn't he, Sidlow? But what he does is he ducks down, makes himself small, and when those two defenders are swinging off of him, they swing together, clash heads. George Griffin down on the floor. Adam Milner looks like he's won that one.
You'd have to imagine George Griffin's going to come off, isn't he? And let's hope he's okay at this stage. He's got a physio and a doctor there attending to him.
It's an unfortunate start to his Castleford Tigers career for George Griffin, having signed on a 2-year deal from the Salford club, playing in the colours his brother Josh played in at Castleford, but this could be the end of his involvement.
Well, they've already got two
afternoon.
players on the sideline, ready replacements, Daniel Smith and Nathan Massey, relatively light for light, but you're right, Bill, to be down on numbers, the rotation within a rugby league match, so tactical and important.
I think they're making sure he hasn't moved. They checked him out fully before he sat up, which is though he is going to be okay anyway. Even if it's just a walk off the field, that's a positive sign.
Matt Crowther, the physio, escorting George Griffin from the field.
Leaving.
Milner going as well.
2 off, 2 on for the Tigers.
So double assessing to be done by the team doctor for the Castleford Tigers.
Just back up, guys. Mate. Yeah.
And Adam Sidlow, well, inadvertently has made his mark. So those two leave the field, and referee James Child will resume play. And here is Mullally,
Nathan off the ball.
once an Irish international, and that's another penalty for the Toronto side. A little bit of fertling going on there. The play the ball, that's going to be a penalty. They'll go for 2. No, they're going to keep the pressure on and unleash Sidlow again, and that's a high shot.
Penalty.
Don't forget we've had a goal line dropout, so this is now the 4th set, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've obviously been only early in the tackle count when those penalties have taken place, but still we've had a break.
Sidlow once more drives it in. 3 in the tackle for the Castleford Tigers. Now then, can Toronto capitalise? It's with Mellor. Good defence from Castleford there, because there were numbers all over the place for the Wolfpack. They were trying to run rings around them, and then McCrone can't take the pass, and it'll be head and feed to the Castleford Tigers, and frustration for Toronto because they had a glut of possession there and they haven't done anything with it.
Just behind John Wilkin. I say it must be 15 or 20 involvements, 20 touches, taking it to the line, putting that pass out the back. He hasn't played the ball back. He hasn't played the ball at all. What we had 15 minutes. There was many times last year when we watched the Toronto Wolfpack, he'd go a full 80 minutes and not play the ball. That's the skill and the ability he's got. Such an important role there for creating space, manipulating defences out wide.
Is the Castleford Tigers try scorer so far in this game. Greg Eden playing the ball. Eden's try converted by Danny Richardson, putting the Castleford Tigers ahead after Liam Kay had struck, and a penalty goes the Castleford Tigers' way. They're first of the game, greeted with ironic cheers by their supporters.
Well, everyone's too jumpy, too keen out. They're getting out the blocks before the ball has been played and cleared the ruck.
That'll take Castleford
Wait for the foot.
Just inside Toronto territory. The Tigers, who made the playoffs last season, but then fizzled out really at the hands of the Salford club. And the season really didn't live up to expectations, but they did have to cope with a big number of injuries and a lot of chopping and changing. And they've looks as though they've started the season the same way. There's some notable names missing from this Castleford Tigers lineup. It's still a pretty good looking one. It's with Daniel Smith, and Smith for Truman, and Truman was looking for somebody to get on the end of that. And the Castleford Tigers are on a roll. Here's Danny Richardson, gets the pass away, and Millington, I think it is. Millington will get the try. Grant Millington, and that is a rarity. He doesn't get many of those. But the Tigers taking full advantage of the penalty they were awarded further down the field, getting on a good roll, good speed at the play the ball. And Richardson's pass, and Millington just having the reach to stretch out.
Discipline's so important in this game. You can't afford to do too much defending. And the Toronto Wolfpack penalised by James Child, offside. Now you watch the interplay between 6 and 7 in the build-up to this. You see Danny Richardson celebrating. It's a nice short pass. He gives his number 10 the front row, one-on-one with Adam Sidlow. Nice double pump. Has enough grip on that ball to just reach out, pull it away from his body and place it on the line. But Jake Truman and Danny Richardson all over that set of possession.
Richardson then involved early on here, which is what he wants to be, having been on the outer at St Helens last season as the side steamrolled their way to the league leadership and then to grand final success. He didn't really get a look in. Came to the Castleford Tigers, wants to reignite his career, and he'll get the chance. He's missed with that conversion though. Toronto 4, Tigers 10.
Well, if Castleford are going to win the Cup or succeed in Super League this year, it'll be because of the creativity that Barry's just referenced. They've got two players in Truman and Richardson, the scrum half and standoff, who are wanting to create opportunities for the teammates around them. They're not stronger or necessarily faster than any other team in Super League. They might just have the two most creative players in the centre of the field.
So having led 4-0, Toronto have conceded those 10 points.
That's great work from Millington on the back line. His half-back in front of him was backpedaling. He gave a loud, clear call. We could hear it from up here. And that's the reason Castleford are just over the 20-metre line now.
Massey plays the ball. Here is Liam Watts. Tigers' top tackler last year, made not the most yards, but was up among them. And of course, the mystery is why he seems to miss out on international honours. He made the dream team.
Went, of course, to the Nines over to Australia, so did manage to wear an international shirt. But I agree with you, Bill, and I think Tez talked about it in the studio. He deserved a place on the tour for me, but that might well be his motivation for 2020 to the benefit of Castleford Tigers.
Here's Toronto's try scorer, Liam Kay.
And after all of the build-up here, is a test for Toronto now. 20 minutes into the game, behind on the scoreboard. What have they got now? There's all the enthusiasm and hype. There, the ball comes free, and Maludi keeps it alive.
Did well there, and Brad Singleton is on, back on familiar territory. The Cumbrian, once to the Leeds Rhinos, a bit like Danny Richardson. He just fell out of favour last season with the Leeds club, did Brad Singleton. So he's rejoined his former coach, Brian McDermott, looking for first-team football. He's got it. He's come off the bench. Here's Latelli playing the ball. Wilkin once more. Wilkin's pass finds Dixon. Dixon well tackled by Shenton and Truman. Now Maludi. Maludi's strength from the French international who loses the ball in the tackle.
That last tackle? I'm pretty sure they chose to run that ball on the last tackle. Cass just over the halfway line now in good field possession. A wild decision, and Hakim Maludi, well, although it ends up scruffy and bobbling on the floor, the minute he had that in his possession, I'm not sure what was going through his mind.
Daryl Alfort's playing the ball for the Castleford Tigers, another one of their new recruits, another Salford signing, or ex-Salford player rather. Now it's with Truman. Truman, Young Player of the Year in 2018, gets the break and gets the pass. Oh, looking for Millington, but it's somehow Josh McCrone
what a
who
try
managed to get in there and take the pass, which was destined for Millington and his second of the game.
Look, the most obvious try you were ever going to see is a 2v1 there. They've blown a chance and survived, and now Russell goes for it.
What a break! What a break! Maludi has gone. Oh! And the pass to Kay was behind him.
Wrong side.
The referee, where will he bring him back to?
That's the adventure they like to play with, Toronto. From defending their own line, almost conceding a try, to then regather possession. It's a nice bump, isn't it, from Jake Truman, taking on a big man, but he just gets his arm to it, doesn't he? Gets his arm to it, prevents the front row, Grant Millington, from going in, Josh McCrone. Oh, what about this for an offload? And you can see Joe Mellor on the left. Although there was a player covering Daryl Alfort, it's probably the better option to go to the left.
Safer option, because it's ultimately resulted in a head and feed for the Castleford Tigers, and the ball with Jordan Rankin, still technically a lone player, on loan from the Huddersfield Giants. So Toronto, great opportunity for them to break out there, couldn't capitalise on it.
That's good.
Here is Millington again. Given that he was an injury doubt before the game, he's really shown up. Now Watts' little pass finds Massey, and Massey looking for what would be a rarity, a try. He doesn't get many of those. Here is Watts once more. The ball is batted on, and it's with Eden who picks it up. Now there's broken field for Eden to run into. No, referee will bring him back.
I know that, but he runs behind in close proximity.
It's obstruction, isn't it? He runs behind one of his teammates here.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games Toronto are going to win, but they're going to certainly win some neutral fans and supporters with their attitude in attack and defence, the risk-taking, the willingness to keep the ball alive at all times.
Going behind Shenton there.
Shenton, yeah.
So Toronto able to bring the ball away, having been under pressure once again in their own red zone.
Toronto made another change. Gadwin Springer on.
Another French international, Gadwin Springer. There he is, just taking that ball.
Powerful player.
Once to the Castleford Tigers, Springer. Little run from Ackers, but Ackers is closed down well by Chase Blair. Mellor, dart from him, and Blair again doing the tackling. Ackers gets the ball away to McCrone. McCrone hoists that one towards Greg Eden's wing, and Eden claims it. You're never that confident, are you?
No, but it looks like he's on 24, 25 minutes. Everything he's done has come off. And it looks like they're aiming the kicks towards him. They know how erratic he can be. But Toronto, 25 minutes. Sloppy is too strong a word, but I'm not sure when they get into the back end of the sets whether there's that much thought.
Truman again able to make progress, brought down by Wilkin. McShane running, gets the pass away to Richardson brought down by Mellor. Here is Truman once more. Truman short pass for Chase Blair. That's the turnover.
Oh, look, pass, wasn't it, from Jake Truman? Here he is.
Well, they need a boost, don't they, Toronto? They've looked flat, they've looked lack of energy, they've not been out of their own half for a long period of time, and you suspect that they might have to introduce their ace card here to lift the team.
Yep, Sonny Bill Williams is on the sidelines. Brian McDermott, his coach, has just had a word with him, and here he comes. Back in rugby league, his first appearance in the Codes since September 2014. In his NRL days, a glittering career brings him to Super League, to Headingley, and to this round one game between Toronto and the Castleford Tigers. what can Sonny Bill Williams bring to Super League, apart from a big buzz of excitement, which he's managed to do already.
Move, come on, Paul, come on.
He's coming.
Waiting for his touch.
John Wilkin, here he is. He's his first touch in rugby league.
And it's immediately...
anticlimactic.
Well, I'm not sure who knocked that one on, whether it was Gadwin Springer.
Well, he receives that ball from John Wilkin. He has a support player in Gadwin Springer alongside him, who's in front of him. That's the reason he probably changes his mind there. Hits and spins. And Chase Blair, his eyes would have lit up.
A rueful grin on the face of Sonny Bill.
I'll get better, lads, I'll get better.
This, of course, a double-header here at Headingley, and Leeds Rhinos against Hull FC. The second game coming up at 4:30, again on Sky Sports Arena, and big expectations in that match as well, particularly for Hull FC and their supporters after a winter of big-name recruitment, in a lot of ways, because there's some formidable figures who'll be taking the field for Hull later on.
It is a menacing pack. I'm sure we'll talk about Hull and Leeds in due time, but the pack of forwards in black and white, ferocious.
Well, that's coming up after Toronto against the Castleford Tigers. Coming up towards the half-hour mark, and the Castleford Tigers threatening once again. Richardson's pass is snapped up by Singleton. Singleton, you feel, probably hasn't got the legs. And Ricky Latelli takes the pass. And again, the Castleford Tigers that close. The final ball, not the best.
Well, they're surviving, aren't they? Just about with a 6-point deficit at present. Again, they go wide. Look on the turnover of possession as Maludi steps his way up almost over the 40-metre line. But the Toronto team need to get to the other end of the field and spend some time in Castleford's half, because the longer it goes on, the more certain you become that Castleford are due some points.
Wilkin, Sonny Bill's second touch, neat, taking and on to Wilkin, and here he is again, the former All Black. His last outing was in the World Cup, Rugby Union World Cup against England in Japan. Here he is at Headingley, lining up for Toronto in the Super League.
Great work from Singleton, refusing to go down.
The ball quickly on. It was a knock-on.
Yeah, they're just slightly behind Sonny Bill Williams, the referee, giving possession over to Castleford Tigers. They play that hot potato style of rugby league. Toronto Wolfpack trying to find space. Tyler Heppy on for Castleford Tigers now. Another firecracker of a player.
Adam Milner has passed his head injury assessment, we hear, but George Griffin has failed and will not be coming back. That's an unfortunate start to his Castleford Tigers career for Griffin. Danny Richardson. Here is Daryl Alford, bit static, the Tigers. It's been a lively first half hour in this contest. Not the neatest of game. Both coaches probably find plenty to find fault with, but Castleford leading 10-4 and looking for more here, and Richardson almost finding a way through. On the last now, the ball with the Rankin, whose kick is chased and it's dotted down, and it's Milner back on the field after a bang on the head. Well, he's given the Toronto Wolfpack a headache now with that try, because the ball ricocheted and Adam Milner gets his first try of the season. And Toronto again pay the price for a mistake in the middle of the field.
Well, they paid the price for not spending enough time at the other opponent's end of the field. They've not kicked the ball for about 10 or 15 minutes really here to get down near Castleford's line. And all of the kicks that Castleford are making are attacking ones, dangerous ones like the ones we see there. Nice foot skills through by Milner. Taps it through on the second one. Rankins is the first. And then off the left foot, through the goalpost. 4 more points for Castleford.
That's a difficult ball to deal with for the fullback Blake Wallace. There are boots, knees, hips, thighs, But he really needed to secure that ball. Adam Milner, won't worry about that. Had enough about him to get near that ball, put it down. But you're right, the completion, the back end of sets, the deliberate nature. You've probably said both sides have been guilty, but Toronto, for me, a little bit worse than Castleford Tigers. The box standard nuts and bolts, sets of 6 that you need to knock out one after another to grind your opponents down. For me, hasn't been there by either side in the opening 30 minutes.
Richardson bangs the conversion through, and it's Toronto 4, the Castleford Tigers 16 now.
That's going to be a really useful weapon for Castleford Tigers. Rankin, Truman, Richardson, all got lovely kicking game.
And Milner's celebration, presumably a reference to the fact that just a few seconds ago he was off the field having a head injury assessment. And he's come back, and his immediate involvement is to extend the Castleford Tigers' lead. Eden, Millington, their other 2 try scorers. Millington could have had 2, but for Josh McCrone's intervention. Springer tangling with Millington and conceding the penalty.
Well, if you think about all the teams that have been promoted in Super League over the last 10 or 20 years, one of the things they've struggled with is the discipline. They've conceded too many penalties, and obviously the speed of the game. Those are 2 aspects at the moment that you say Castleford will be playing the ball a little bit quicker when they're in possession, and obviously the penalty count now starting to favour the Tigers.
Here's Michael Shenton. These 2 sides have met before, actually, but in pre-season they met in a testimonial for Michael Shenton. And the Wolfpack won 16-10 on that occasion. They've been penalised here.
Well, they're just handing possession and field position over. Arms in around the ball. The referee has no option other than to blow that penalty. The previous penalty, 3 Toronto's players, all up top, nobody getting round the legs, trying to take Millington to the ground.
So they're on the back foot again, are the Wolfpack, and again Castleford come forward, and it's Tyler Heppy charging that ball in. It's not the biggest, but he does really punch above his weight,
much like his dad.
Exactly.
Brad Heppy. Like a stick of dynamite.
Well, here they are in possession again, and Richardson looking for his first try in Castleford colours. He might have it. Truman.
Got no try.
It's no try, says James Child, whatever the outcome. But it's Chris Kendall, the video ref, who's going to have a look at this.
They've got some threats, haven't they? They've got Richardson over on the left side. They've got Truman over on the right. It's impossible to see whether that ball has been put down, but both 6 and 7 taking the line on. There was an accusation when Danny Richardson was at St Helens. He didn't take the line on enough. On that occasion, it's Jake Truman, 20 years of age, benefiting from the experience of last year, the Great Britain Tour, being around players like Johnny Lomax. Their hallmark is taking defenders on. I don't think you can award this try on anything we've seen so far.
Well, James Child didn't so.
James Child didn't see anything when he saw it live. But I imagine the ball will go back 10 metres and it'll be Castleford's play the ball.
Yeah, Truman went on the Great Britain Tour but didn't get a look in. And has he extended the Castleford Tigers lead? It doesn't look like it. Chris Kendall's, the video ref, his decision is as expected. But again, Toronto's defence really being strained and stretched and tested. And here's Milner back into the middle with Tyler Heppy. He's 26 now, Tyler Heppy. He's been around for a while. He's just left the Toulouse club in the championship. McShane's pass. It's on to Jordan Rankin, and here is Shenton, and that is a try. No doubt about that one. Slick hands from this Castleford Tigers side, doing what they do best. Snappy passes. And Michael Shenton gets the try that takes him to 150 in all games for the Castleford Tigers. Celebrating a testimonial a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Castleford are one of the best teams at deconstructing their opponent's defence by having players running in the right places at the right time. Again, you saw numerous players running as an option to take the pass, but everyone, the timing of the pass from Jordan Rankin to Shenton, he knew that even though he had a wingman outside him, he was close enough to the line with two hands on it. The pass is an option, but at that distance, he knows he's just got to retain possession, crash over and ground in one good place.
It's the line from Grant Millington. It just holds Josh McCrone up. When we get another look at it, we'll see he's on his heels, Josh McCrone. Everybody hesitates, and from that point on, simple draw pass, and that player, Michael Shenton, wonderful to see him back in top flight rugby league.
Richardson 2 from 3 with the boots. This one out wide, hits the post. But Toronto 4, the Castleford Tigers 20, half-time approaching. Michael Shenton, seasoned campaigner.
Well, there we go. You can just see it there. There's a space opens up from the line of Grant Millington, the unselfish front rower. And good skill. And you see Brian McDermott, Chris Plume, his assistant, thinking about what they're going to say, the feedback they're going to give to those players at half-time. They will need to change what they've thrown up in the first half, and it might well be focusing on how they finish sets. What do they do at the back end of the set of 6?
150 tries in 312 games for Michael Shenton for the Castleford Tigers, who have, after that wobble at the start when they conceded the early try to Liam Kay and the Wolfpack, they've dominated this second half. They could have had more points. They've had a try ruled out. They've had another one denied them by a Toronto Wolfpack intervention. So they really have got this game under their thumb at the moment. Richardson's gone for it.
Brilliant.
The touch finder. Great kick that was into the corner.
With just over 3 minutes left on the clock, the number 7, Danny Richardson, steps forward, nudges the ball over the sideline. That's the area of the game that's been a little bit better in favour of Castleford Tigers. Jordan Rankin, Jake Truman and Danny Richardson on that occasion, asking questions at the back end of the set with quality kicks.
Next up for the Castleford Tigers, the Wigan Warriors at home. Friday night, big game at the Bender Hose Jungle. Toronto travel to Salford for their next assignment. That's next Saturday. Here's Ricky Littell, who really haven't seen much of the Samoan International Centre, who is one of the threats that Toronto bring. Here's Maludi.
Just play it. 3.
They haven't got the biggest squad though, Toronto, only 23 players.
And that is the concern, and that's the discussion that is taking place now. They need more bodies. There's no doubt of the quality of players like Littell and, of course, the showstopper, Sonny Bill Williams, but they need numbers.
John!
Mellor's kick is comfortably dealt with by Jordan Rankin. And Rankin, who has been, it's a good deal for the Castleford Tigers, isn't it? Have him on board.
This is guy, I think, Daryl Alferts, who I think has been a great recruitment decision for the Castleford Tigers. I think he's going to have a massive season. A lot of what wingers have to do very often is just make meters at the starts of sets, and he does it better than most.
He's quick as well, Daryl Alferts. He's had to wait his while for his Super League chance. Now here's Milner.
They aren't finishing those tackles off. Milner, he's able to play that ball before Gadwin Spinger has got back in the defensive line.
Tyler Heppy again.
Move, come on.
Auckland-born Tyler Heppy, and then Richardson hoists that kick, and Blake Wallace challenging for it. The ball eventually comes down for the Wolfpack. Oh, and Matty Russell loses it, and it's a penalty.
Very unfortunate there, isn't it? The hooker, Andy Ackers, while he's returning the ball. Matty Russell, a potent try scorer, 27 tries in 21 games last year for Matty Russell. He gets the ball stripped out of his arm and it ends up in the breadbasket of his hooker.
If it's stripped though, then I'm not so sure it's an offside.
It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. Yeah, but it's who's by.
Well, yeah, but who's
pulled the ball forward? Well, the referee's determined.
Millington snatches at it.
Not according to the ref, though, has it?
Whose hand has guided that towards Matty Russell? Surely it's Millington's.
Millington, and there may well be a little involvement from Jordan Rankin as well. He'll take the 2 points on offer, or attempt to take the 2 points on offer. Tigers.
Millington and Rankin just sharing a little smile there. I think they might have got away with something.
The artful dodge, yeah.
Not just got away with something, that they're going to benefit to the tune of 2 points. It is what it is. It's a penalty, says James Child. It's 2 points, says Danny Richardson. Final action of the first half in this first game in the double-header at Emerald Headingley. Darryl Powell, the Castleford Tigers coach, be pretty satisfied, unlike his opposite number, Brian McDermott, who has plenty to think about after that first 40 minutes, which saw the new half-back combination for the Tigers, Jake Truman and Danny Richardson, gradually get to grips with this game and start to run the show. And having gone 4-0 down with that Liam Kay try after just 3 minutes for the Wolfpack in their first game in Super League, the Tigers have hit back, running in 4 tries, 3 of them converted by Richardson. So at half-time, it's the Castleford Tigers who lead 22-4.
The NFL's 100th season concludes tonight at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The 49ers and Chiefs go head-to-head. 10 p.m. on Sky Sports action. One of those in attendance will be Leeds Rhinos great Rob Burrow, courtesy of Sky Sports News' Richard Graves, who will, of course, be updating you throughout the day on Sky Sports News in the build-up to that marquee sporting fixture. On Tuesday on Sky Sports Cricket from Cape Town, we've got the first of the one-day internationals between South Africa and England. 10:30 a.m. start for that. Well, we're halfway through game 1 of our unique Betfred Super League double-header. Coming up a little later, we have the Leeds Rhinos and Hull FC. In game 1, though, it's the Toronto Wolfpack and Castleford Tigers. Darryl Powell's Tigers comfortably in front at half-time, 22 points to 4. It was, though, the Wolfpack who hit first. Liam Kay with a try in the 3rd minute. Let's have a look at the stats after the first 40 minutes. Possession split 50-50 between both of the sides. The meters made, though, by the Castleford Tigers, 742 to just 475 for the Toronto Wolfpack. Plenty more breaks as well made by the Castleford side. Okay, let's take you into the dressing rooms as Brian McDermott delivers his halftime team talk in Super League to the Toronto Wolfpack for the first time. Danny, sum up, if you can, what messages he will be trying to get to his side.
I think he'll be disappointed with the handling errors. 7 handling errors in the first half, not acceptable in Super League standard. I think Toronto, they actually play some nice football. They throw the ball about, but I think they've probably played a little bit too laterally today. I don't think they've earned the right. The forwards probably haven't made as many yards as Brian Mack would have liked. So he won't be happy. He'll be into him and he'll be telling them they need to front up this second half.
Darryl Powell, I imagine, will be delighted with the way his side dealt with the emotion of the occasion, first and foremost, and dealt with going behind before putting themselves firmly in control here.
Yeah, I think they've been really good, Castleford. I think they weathered the early storm as we expected. Toronto came out firing, but look very composed. You know, they've got some experience there. Paul McShane's a very experienced 9. Your 9 controls, you know, where the ball goes and dictates who it's going to. Been really impressed with Richardson and Truman. The forwards have done a very good job, and you know, the great value for that 20 points to 4 lead.
First score, John Wells, came for the Toronto Wolfpack from what was an obvious pattern from the start of the game. They're going to shift the ball wide. We got a great result from Hakim Maloudi's kick.
Yeah, they did, and it was a last tackle play as well, so there's all sorts of things wrapped up in there. The willingness to play on the last, and a bit of a carefree attitude for them. It was a real feature of their play for the opening 20 minutes. Also, last tackle spread play, Maloudi puts a nice kick through, and Liam Kay on 3 minutes scores the first try for Toronto Wolfpack in Super League. but it's also been a symptom, hasn't it, of why they haven't got more points on the board, and perhaps gifting possession and time to the Castleford Tigers, overplaying at times. And if there was one man that ball wanted to fall to in a Tigers shirt, it was Greg Eden. He has got genuine pace. On 7 minutes, he took the Tigers in front by 2 points.
But what did you like about Richardson and Truman in their combination, Danny Maguire?
I just liked the way that they got around the field. They didn't stick to one edge. Truman ran the ball a lot, but I loved Richardson here turning up on the left-hand side. Sometimes Haas can get caught on their side, but beautiful ball there to Millington for Millington's try. I think we'll see another clip in a minute where Richardson goes to the line. Truman this time. You know, as a half-back, it's your job. You've got to get tackled with the ball.
Millington getting denied only a second double in his 215-game Castleford career. Sonny Bill comes on, John, but then still Castleford, they put the foot down, dominated.
Yeah, they did. Big part of this play. Well, Richardson makes the break, but it's Paul McShane and his willingness to run this season, a feature that was missing from his game in 2019. He's now running from dummy half, and that's causing more problems. Nice little deft kick through from Rankin, controlled by Milner on the half-hour mark. The Tigers going to a 16-4 lead. Here we are again, Truman combining with Jordan Rankin at the back. Michael Shenton goes over to make it 20-4, and then Richardson with that penalty at the death opens up an 18-point lead.
Yeah, Shenton on that left edge for Castleford, a hazard that Toronto were not able to deal with. 22-4. Find a way. You're the halfback. You're either Joe Mellor, you're either Josh McCrone. You're getting instruction from Brian McDermott. Find a way. We asked this question the half-time at the Totally Wicked Stadium when Salford were behind against St Helens. As a halfback, find a way back into this game.
Well, I'm getting my big boys to carry the ball strong. I'm getting my back rowers to be in unconditional lines. We need to work Castleford's middle over to be able for the halfbacks to be able to play on the front foot, play nice and straight, and create some opportunities for Latelli, for Maludi, for the outside backs. Because at the minute, I think they're probably playing a little bit too lateral too soon. So the forwards need to go forward first.
Drawing further parallels with that performance by St Helens on Friday, a great opportunity for the Castleford Tigers, not just to go on and win this game, but to go on and win this game and make a statement at the same time, John. Yeah,
it's more of the same from a Tigers perspective. No, they don't need to go and win this game again. There are enough points on the board there, arguably, to win this game. But I think you take your foot off the pedal at your peril. Not necessarily because the Toronto Wolfpack have got the firepower round one to come back and beat you, but because exactly that, I think it gives a real confidence boost to the away team and gives them something to build on leading into their first home game against the Wigan Warriors next week.
Okay, how does this second half unfold? Can you see the Toronto Wolfpack troubling Castleford?
The way they played in the first half, I don't see a comeback. I think Castleford have been very good, very strict game plan, kicking really well. So unless Toronto start to go forward a little bit more, I'd like to see Ackers run a little bit more from dummy half as well. But yeah, Castleford very much in control of this game.
Absolutely. We're halfway through the game one of our double header. Second 40 minutes with Bill and the boys. Coming up the other side of this break, Castleford Tigers and Darryl Powell very much in control. 18-point half-time lead over Brian McDermott's Toronto Wolfpack in the Canadians' first ever Super League appearance. What does the second half hold for them? Find out after this.
This is the first game in a double header at Emerald Headingley, and coming up 4:30 on Sky Sports Arena, it is the Leeds Rhinos against Hull FC, kicking off their new Betfred Super League campaigns. Live here on Sky Sports. That's after the conclusion of this game between the Toronto Wolfpack and the Castleford Tigers. The first half dominated ultimately by the Tigers, having initially conceded that Wolfpack try, but then going on to take control of the game. And so Toronto have really got their work cut out if they are going to maintain their impressive winning streak. They went into this match having won their last 23 matches, including that championship grand final against Featherstone Rovers. But the Wolfpack and their supporters are looking at their first defeat in quite a while, unless they can turn things around in the second half. And they'll need some inspiration from that man, Sonny Bill Williams, if they are going to get this game in their grip. Still waiting for referee James Child to get the second half underway. And it'll be Toronto who resume proceedings. And the Wolfpack, they need a big start to this second half. They really weren't at the races in the first 40 minutes. Albeit they took the lead early on, but the more the first half went on, the more control the Castleford Tigers took control of proceedings. So it's going to need some serious turnaround here if the Wolfpack are going to get back into the hunt. But Castleford Tigers showing their hand early on in these opening seconds of the second half, flinging the ball around. Oh, big hit.
Tyler Heppy it was from the kickoff, threw a wild offload behind him, but Castleford Tigers good enough to collect that ball. So good at gaining ground, the Tigers. Inventive play, short passes, long passes, offloads, and they make it to the 50-metre line, approaching the 60 line with ease.
Brad Singleton putting himself around defensively for the Castleford Tigers, and that's good defence from the Toronto Wolfpack, because a bit of vigorosity early on in the second half, and they've forced the error. They've forced the error, and they're going to get head and feet at the scrum. We're going to get half-time news from Jenna Brooks.
Thanks, Bill. Message at half-time for the Toronto Wolfpack was just that they need to be quicker with everything. He said, Brian McDermott said that there's not too much wrong. The game is just a lot faster than they used to. Darryl Powell said he was pretty happy with that first half. He said it was a strong start. They look good, particularly in their attacking play. They just need to keep their composure now and do the small things right.
So the Toronto Wolfpack in possession. Hakim Maludi. Dramatic plunge to the ground there. And here is Liam Kay, try scorer in the first half. This probably the most eagerly awaited round one fixture since Paris and the start of Super League, you'd have said. Toronto Wolfpack in the Super League. Well, here we are. Oh, Wilkins pass.
And that's what Danny Maguire, our studio guest, was talking about. John Wilkin, he's under pressure from the defence of Castleford Tigers. Catches it, of course, his skill is good enough to catch and pass.
Here's Sonny Bill, gets the pass away to Ricky Latelli. Latelli gets the pass away to Kay. Kay cuts back in field, he's not tackled yet. Good hands from Sonny Bill, shifting that on to his wingman. Here's Maludi. Maludi's pass finds Mellor. Mellor back into the middle, and it's McCrone running. McCrone gets the pass away. Here is Springer now. Springer, the ball in one hand, running strongly, Springer, but that's a stray pass. Latelli, it's with Sonny Bill. He one-handed to Kay. Kay a little kick ahead, down the sideline, and the ball is still there. Who was following up? Latelli was following up.
Last tackle. Well, Toronto, they continue with this abandon.
Shot clock on.
Last tackle. Just
it nearly came off.
It did. I was very hesitant. As soon as it got to the last tackle and the ball went back on the inside, there's a nice offload from Sonny Bill Williams. I'm sure when he finds his feet, we'll see a lot more of that. But Liam Kay, just not quite good enough with his soccer skills to get the ball anywhere near the line.
But adventurous from Toronto, with Sonny Bill at the heart of it, with basketball-style passing.
Can Toronto, the first thing they've got to do in defence is prevent their opponents from making 60 metres in 6 players. That's the first test. Can they contain any of the ground that Castleford so easily seem to be able to gain?
Peter Matautia made yards there in reverse, and they're almost up to the halfway line. 3 tackles gone, and what's more, they've conceded the penalty.
And that's because of the forceful nature of that carry from Daryl Alfords. Finds his front, he's already trying to play the ball, and you can see a little bit of shrapnel around the back. Joe Mellor. Hard, direct, finding those meters, playing the ball quick, and the referee just blows his whistle and gives 20 meters, 25 meters to Castleford Tigers.
Peter Matautia then, and Richardson into the hands of Grant Millington. First half, I beg your pardon, it's Daniel Smith who's out there onto the Huddersfield Giants. Truman's pass on to Richardson. Richardson, short ball. There's Grant Millington. Now Shenton. Richardson. Little skip from Heppy.
John off the ball.
Into the tackle. McShane's pass to Richardson. Richardson's short ball, and Chase Blair has got that ball down, or has he?
He'll take a look. He's certainly over the line, isn't he?
I wouldn't award it, would you, Barry?
No, he's certainly over the line.
He has done.
The referee is in the right place.
I thought he released it to the Toronto player on the first shot we saw. He was far closer than I was, the referee.
I think it was Blake Wallace at fullback, gets his arms around the ball, and you're right, it looked on first watch that Adam Blair, in an attempt to try and sell it, Blair Chase Blair even.
He's not grounded that ball.
No, he wasn't confident, was it?
And then he releases it. I don't think it's stripped. Oh, it's a very hard decision, isn't it? We're asking somebody to make here now, whether that's been released or stripped.
Chris Kendall's got to make the decision.
It's a guess either way, isn't it? Can't tell.
I'm saying he's securing possession there, Blake Wallace. He's getting his arm and his body around the ball, and the ball is released by Chase Blair.
His hand's still on it, so he's still...
Yes. So would that be...
No try?
Definitely no try. I think we're both confident of that. The referee sent it up
couldn't be
as
construed as a ball steal, could it?
Well, even if it was, it wouldn't be awarded a try. That's not a try in this situation.
Well, it could be anything. That's one thing we do know watching this game often enough.
But not a try.
It was sent up as a try, though, wasn't it? James Childs sent it up as a try.
Well, is that 3 looks we've had now? Let's see what the video referee comes up with.
If he was a try, it'll be something for Chase Blair to claim, because he doesn't claim that many tries.
This is where you've got to keep some speed, haven't we, in this video referee procedure here now.
I'm saying he's held up over the line, and they'll go back 10 metres and play the ball, Castleford Tigers.
What does Chris Kendall think? Does he agree with James Child that it is the try, or is Chase Blair going to be denied? He is.
No try, held up.
He is held up. Barry's right, they'll play the ball.
Yeah, Chase, tackle 4.
Darren Powell doesn't agree.
Just wait, Chase.
Good work from the fullback, Blake Wallace.
Okay, go, 4.
Well, will they still capitalise now, because they are that close to the Toronto Wolfpack line? The Wolfpack again in defensive mode, and again being stretched, and again conceding, and there is no doubt about this one for Peter Matautia as he cut back inside under the posts, and they do extend their lead, no doubt about that. Wow, indeed.
He's cracked a smile, Darryl Powell, now. He knows that that was a lovely line from Matautia, well orchestrated from Paul McShane. A lovely sell at the back of the play, the ball. He looks to his left. He catches the attention of the defenders. These are no try first. Chase Blair runs over the top of Joe Mellor, doesn't get the ball down. Castleford Tigers still retain possession, but look at the line here from Matautia. Latella is looking, and he's aware of Jordan Rankin out the back. He doesn't know whether to get the player that ultimately ends up with the ball in his hand, or just hold back, anticipating that Rankin will get it. But Peter Matautia drifts onto that ball. A hard line going back against the grain, and that's a well-constructed try from Castleford Tigers.
Scored points with the boot and with tries last season, Peter Matautia, but it's Danny Richardson who's got the goal-kicking role as far as this afternoon goes. Hit the post with his last kick at goal, this one between them, and they extend their lead. Toronto 4, the Castleford Tigers 28 now.
Well, in recent seasons, Castleford have been too reliant on the players on the left-hand side of the field, scoring the tries, coming up with the points. It's a much more balanced team here today from what we've seen in the first 46 minutes of this Super League season. The dangerous on both the left and equally so on the right. And that was a great example of numbers and angles. They had numbers moving out to the right, but the angle of the run is what killed their opponents.
So the Castleford Tigers able to extend their lead. But that's good defence. That is good defence.
They've managed to get Tyler Heppy. They've caught him, collected him, held him up, and just ushered him over the sideline. Good stuff there from Josh McCrone. As you can see, the ball is in the chest of McCrone. And Tyler Hepper's looking for somewhere to pass, somebody to pass to.
Maludi involved as well, driving him over the sideline.
Very interesting hearing what Jenna Brooks said about the two coaches. And Toronto Wolfpack, they need to invest a little bit more, well, a lot more effort in some of the small facets of the game.
Can they turn the tide here now, the Wolfpack? They've got some possession in a good position, and they've got Blake Wallace making inroads into that Castleford Tigers defence. Little gesture from Joe Mellor. Oh, and then Springer goes without it. The ball is picked up. Oh, and they could counter here. They are countering. It's with Truman now. Truman is looking for Shenton. Shenton surely looking for Greg Eden, but Eden runs into Maludi, and Maludi says, "That's far enough, son."
Great anticipation, wasn't it, from Hakim Maludi? Sloppy play that meant that Gadwin Springer gave possession to Cas Tigers. 65, 70 metres downfield. Having a look at the line of the Toronto Wolfpack. Boom!
They have contributed to their own downfall at times. The Toronto Wolfpack. Here's Milner running, looking for his second. And look at that, on the back of a Toronto Wolfpack error, they are threatening once more. And Jordan Rankin brought down by Joe Mellor. Dixon in there as well. Here's Daniel Smith. Into the Huddersfield Giants, released by them, and has made a home for himself for the Castleford Tigers. McShane, little dummy, but well read by McCrone and Wilkin. Singleton, in fact, who stopped his progress.
Just wait for me, guys.
He's having a look at some of his teammates, unclear and unsure who wanted that ball. As we always say in situations like this, it's not a bad place to hand that ball over. Challenging Toronto Wolfpack to gain enough metres.
Bit of a rude awakening this for the Wolfpack, having ruled the roost in the championship last season. 28 wins in 29 matches for the Wolfpack.
And a lot of those victories were based on attack, and we've seen already in 40, 50 minutes that Toronto Wolfpack, they want to attack. They get excited when it's their turn to attack. The great sides get excited when it's their turn to defend as well.
That's the fifth tackle just on the halfway line for the Wolfpack. McCrone, they're running it. It's with Mellor. Mellor, little kick and little chase from Joe Mellor. Now then, has he got some support? He has from McCrone. It's on the last. That'll be the turnover.
It looked like he was tackled without the ball to me there. Josh McCrone. Unusual kick from Joe Mellor. A two-pass kick. Dabs it behind the sideline. He's tackled without the ball.
He certainly is.
Yeah, right in front of the referee as well. Shenton, the guilty party.
The Leeds Rhino supporters eagerly anticipating their season's commencement. Just finding their voices, just tuning up.
It's a mix. We Hate Rhinos.
Oh, that's the Castleford fans.
Is often the Cass and the Hull song.
Well, you've got the Cass and the Hull choir
just to our left.
Yeah.
So they're singing We Hate Rhinos, and underneath those on the south stand, We Leeds Rhinos. That's how that song goes.
It's pretty simple one, that, then, isn't
yes.
it? Here is McShane. McShane manages to get the pass away to Peter Matautia. Matautia, a strong, elusive runner. Versatile player, can play at full-back, in the halves, playing in the centres today. Straight up the middle comes Milner. That's the fifth tackle. Truman, little kick into Kay's corner, and Liam Kay has lost the ball. Millington has it back, and eventually it's picked up by Kay. It somehow ricochets into his grasp, and Toronto are able to bring it away. There's a player down in back play. I think it's... Sure if it's Michael Shenton back there.
It was a challenging kick by Castleford Tigers, wasn't it? As the players...
Greg Eden, who was down in that far corner.
Yeah, he's not moved either, has it? He was one of those players challenging for the high kick. The game's playing on.
Got it.
Greg Eden is nowhere near the action.
Time off, tackle 3.
So the referee now stops the game.
Where is it, Rich? sorry, yeah.
Eden is down in the corner there.
Oh, he's holding that knee, isn't he? There you go, Liam Craig.
Is it as he lands? We often see players come up with serious knee injuries there on the,
Don't want to see that
landing.
again. Don't want to see that.
Hyperextending that knee, and sometimes, although it looks horrendous, that jolting nature spooks a player.
It spooks me.
Yeah. It's gone back against its natural range of motion.
Craig Eden has had his problems in that respect.
He's got his poorly face on there, hasn't it? He doesn't like that. As we said many times, Castleford Tigers blessed with a physio like Matty Crowther, who of course played first-class rugby league, was part and a member of that 1998 Sheffield Eagles team that was victorious against Wigan Warriors. He's obviously got the knowledge and understanding of the mechanics of the body, but he also knows how a rugby league player thinks. He's not happy one little bit.
They've got the, in fact, the 18th man today was James Clare. So,
What a number of options in that
resources,
back line, haven't they, Castleford Tigers?
It's a shame, is it? Because his season started so well with that try in the first half. Back to his best with that blistering speed. Back, luckily for us all, he's back up on his feet. Whether he's able to play on. Our bodies are amazing things, aren't they? There's very often they recover when... I'll never forget when Justin Murphy went over the advertising hoardings at Wigan. He thought he was
You've
probably
done well
dead.
to get Wigan into this game.
Well, you just mentioned them playing against Sheffield, so I got the link going then and carried it on with Justin Murphy's recovery on the left wing.
You don't
Greg
need
Eden
me
seems
to
be
give
doing
you
the
an
same.
avenue for it.
Craig Eden is staying on the field by the look of things. He's just gingerly coming down that flank. So they'll see how he goes. Well, it looked as though that was yet another knee problem. He's back on his feet and play will continue.
Well, let's hope he's okay. And as we said, sometimes it can mess with your mind when your body goes against its natural range. But Toronto in possession.
Acker's slipping as he gets that pass away. Lots of passes, but they're not making any progress. Here is Anthony Mullally, much travelled front rower. Wilkin. Sonny Bill's still out there and hits that one at pace and then puts a nice kick in, and the chasers are after it, and Eden does well considering he was hobbling a moment ago.
The last tackle for Toronto, they had the right, they were in the right part of the field to just dab that ball behind. Now backing it up with terrific defence.
More like it. Now can they restrict Castleford's progress? They haven't been able to do that so far. Daryl Alfords makes a few yards, then Rankin's short pass. Tautier. He plays the ball. McShane running.
And look how often when a Castleford player plays the ball, Bill, there are white shirts still on the floor. That's something that I'm sure as the season goes on, they have to address. Even when they're not on the floor, they've been conceding penalties. As I said in the first half, the newly promoted side very often struggles with the speed of the game or concedes too many penalties, and they're often interlinked. It's been the case for the Wolfpack today.
John Wilkin penalised. 36 years of age, over 500 career appearances, and Brian McDermott just managed to persuade him to postpone retirement, apparently, to help the Wolfpack establish themselves in Super League. And Wilkin has been a big contributor today, but he hasn't been able to prevent the Castleford defence, the Castleford attack rather, cutting them open, and then Truman's pass it forward to Nathan Massey, and no wonder he's furious, because he only got one try last year, and that was his first since 2015. He was looking at a second there.
What a shame, wasn't it? Castleford Tigers, Tyler Heffey, with 3 defenders around him, finds an offload, and I think at every point in that play, Jake Truman is looking at the try line thinking, I'm going to score, I'm going to score, I'm going to score, until he can't score, and then he just flings it over his shoulder. Unfortunately for Castleford Tigers, it drifts forward, and Nathan Massey, well, nil point. Nathan Massey.
So it remains Toronto 4, the Castleford Tigers 28.
go, mate.
Just the one try in the second half so far, and that early doors from Peter Matautia.
Held! Release him!
You get the feeling, don't you, that there's more points in this game.
More points for the Castleford Tigers, you mean?
More points in the game. I think at some point Toronto Wolfpack will get over the try line. They've got too much attacking ability to not score. Just need to invest in the defensive part of the game, you feel, if they're going to get better in 2020. But they're incredibly lucky. They've got one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the country, in Brian McDermott.
Matautia is left, I think it's Wilkin, on the deck with what could be viewed as a late tackle. Sidlow manages to offload, it reaches Blake Wallace, and then Mellor is running. Wilkin is back on his feet. It's on the last, it's with Sonny Bill, he's running it, and it's batted down, and it's with Rankin, and Castleford Tigers will counter.
Well, as we said, it's in danger at points, this game. It might turn into a game of touch and pass. You've got players who can play fast, they can play quick, and Toronto, when they've been at their best in this game, it's been when they've played that hot potato rugby league. It's just not quite come off for Sonny Bill Williams. That right arm offload, he goes over the top of defenders, he's on his way down.
First game of rugby league for 5.5 years for Sonny Bill Williams, so he's going to take a while to acclimatise.
Of course it is, but you'd back his professionalism, his endeavour, his desire to get better.
Truman's kick ricochets off a Toronto boot.
The referee says not played out.
It's head and feet to Toronto.
Well, they're going to get some possession. They've been better, haven't they, in the second half? More competitive, more aggressive with the defence. Obviously, there's still a gap between the two teams, but for 16, 17 minutes here, they've looked much better than they did for that second quarter of the game, from the 20th to the 40th minute mark, where there was a massive gap between Castleford and their Wolfpack.
Heads in.
Nice touch before the game, Toronto Wolfpack with their warm-up tops, and Brian mentioned it, but just in case you see these, they wore warm-up tops which were devoted to Rockborough and to Mossy Massoy, and those warm-up tops are going to be laundered. Then they're going to be signed by the Wolfpack, including Sonny Bill Williams, and they will be auctioned by the Wolfpack, by Leeds, and by Hull Kingston Rovers. I think they will be divided up.
It will be a three-way split, I believe so, Bill, yeah.
And the proceeds going to those two players, Rockborough and Mossy Massoy, to their funds.
We also have to say a big well done to a group of individuals that have walked the 57 miles from Hull to Leeds Rhinos for the following game. All profits, all proceeds going to Rockborough in his appeal.
Kay can't take that ball. They're trying to get Liam Kay free and threatening again, but the pass is not working out for them.
Those short side players were successful for them in the Championship, and I think they may be in Super League, but at the moment the passing accuracy on 3 or 4 occasions has let them down, and at least cost them a run at the line, if not probably a try as well. So we saw in the first half, attacking Castleford's try line, a pass from John Wilkin to Josh McCrone went behind him. There's been opportunities, but today their passes haven't been sharp enough to really put their opponents under pressure.
Coming up very shortly now, the second game here at Emerald Headingley, the Leeds Rhinos against Hull FC. That's why those Hull FC supporters have walked all this way, to see the season opener for their two sides. Big game, big expectations. 57, is that all it is? 57 miles?
57 miles, they're marching for Rob.
Steve-O used to claim 157 miles. Probably went via Newcastle. Liam Watts is going backwards. And here is Nathan Massey, so close to another try to add to his tally. Castleford Tigers just inside Toronto Wolfpack territory now. Rankin's pass is snapped up by Hakim Maludi. Maludi being pursued by McShane. He won't catch him. Maludi will go in for the Wolfpack. They will get points on the board in the second half, and it's Hakim Maludi, the French international, who seized that pass and went the rest of the way to at least give the Wolfpack supporters something to celebrate. Words coming down from Brian McDermott, hoping that at least in the final quarter of this game, his side can restore some pride and give themselves something to work on.
Well, Hakim Maloney sets up the first try with a delicate kick, and he knows that that ball is going to be passed. He knows it's going to be in the air, floating for vital fractions of a second, and he backs his ability to snake the arm out, regather it, and run the 50+ metres there is to the try line. A nice run, a nice dive, and a nice roll for the Frenchman.
Do you think his coach is a fan of that sort of finish?
No. We need more of those. Should be an award for best celebrated try in Super League. There should be, because that's what fans want to see. They want to be entertained. I've only ever seen Hakim Maloney play on the wing or at fullback, but I think he's done remarkably well for an hour here at centre. I don't know how often in his career he's had to play in that role, but he's done really well. He hasn't been embarrassed or any places in defence, and has been equally threatening when they've had to attack.
Well, he's actually on loan from Hull FC, technically speaking, is Maludi. Well, he's set up the first try for Liam Kay. He's scored the second try, converted by Blake Wallace, and it's Toronto 10, the Castleford Tigers 28.
And this is really interesting final 19 minutes here now for the Toronto Wolfpack. I'm not sure they're going to have enough in them to come back and win the game, but what it'll do is certainly set up the season here, whether they've got that mentality. Oh, the kick's gone out of play on the full by the Tigers here now, and they're going to get an immediate chance to kick to touch and attack again, back-to-back possible tries.
Richardson, anguish on his face because that one sailed, there was no doubt about that. So conceding the penalty, and Toronto immediately get the chance to capitalise on that Maludi try.
Something Phil talked about in the first half. They haven't spent enough time near their opponent's try line, Toronto. Spent a large portion of the game coming away from their own line in that defensive mode. What can they do when they have a set, two sets, to just build some pressure on their opponents?
Sonny Bill quickly on to Josh McCrone. As the Tigers are just going to have to be on alert, because with Cunningham on, there's some buzz about this Toronto side, but they've lost possession, and as long as they're doing that, they're not going to be a threat.
That was never on. Big Adam Sidlow there. He's trying to do an old-fashioned run around with Joe Mellor. He's trying to hold up defenders. You can see there, he catches that ball. He wants to plant that left foot, pop it up, place it into the path of Joe Mellor, but Joe Mellor was in front of him.
So the opportunity goes away for this Toronto Wolfpack side. Leads against Hull FC to come. That Western Terrace, open end of the ground here at Emerald Headingley is getting full, because you've got the Castleford Tigers supporters in there. You've got the Hull FC fans who have travelled in numbers for this one.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's a great sight.
Beautiful.
Second game in succession we've seen this place.
Only in Rugby League.
Yeah.
Only in Rugby League would you get Castleford, Hull FC, a sprinkling of Toronto. Fans and spectators all stood behind the sticks.
Well, Castleford Tigers are in possession. It's Matautia who plays the ball. Happy. It's Jax O'Neill who was playing that ball. I beg your pardon. The kick is a high one, and Wallace is underneath it.
Well taken by the fullback, the Toronto fullback.
No Gareth O'Brien for the Wolfpack in this game. Wallace, the man chosen at fullback.
Another deep set.
Oh, that's a high tackle.
Wolfpack. Yeah, Jax O'Neill. Talked about him a moment or two ago. Speed out to play the ball. Matty Russell, it was after the fullback. The fullback regathers. Matty Russell and then Joe Mellor out quick from dummy half, forcing that marker to lunge.
Better second half so far for the Toronto Wolfpack. Here is Sonny Bill. Getting the quick hands. Looks good. But that was threatening. That was dicing with problems there. Maludi just flings that ball away. Blake Wallace was alert and is able to turn it around and head in the right direction.
Up until that point, they were losing meters on that tap.
Here is Sidlow once again. 40 metres out. Sidlow's offloaded that. The referee says, no, you were held, let's play the ball.
Well, I think he lost that just before he hit the ground. Sidlow and Toronto, they get the ball back.
Sonny Bill, short ball. He was looking for it back from Dixon.
There you go.
Here's Cunningham running. James Cunningham, one of their new recruits, once in the London Broncos. Made 123 appearances for the Broncos and then was picked up by the Wolfpack. Very good utility player, Cunningham. And then McCrone running, and Lutelli, Ricky Lutelli now then. This is a threatening moment. Great footwork from Ricky Lutelli, who's tried to offload. The ball's gone backwards, says 6 to go, says the referee. Mellor, Sidlow is under the sticks. But is James Charles going to award this? A protest from Jax O'Neill. James Charles has nothing to do with that. He's going to call Chris Kendall into the action to review this.
Is he held up?
Well, he's bounced and rolled over the line. It's just at what point was his body facing down? Had he passed the try line by the time his body rolled in that downward movement?
I think they're looking for a knock-on in the build-up somewhere.
I think so, yeah.
Ricky Lutelli, when he goes behind...
It's just here when he eventually offloads it.
Yeah.
But that's why James Cunningham wiped 6 to go, wasn't it?
It's just gone up in the air, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Then it comes off Chase Blair. He knocks it forward. And then a clean pick-up by Gareth O'Brien.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe Mellor.
Yeah. He tries to offload. It doesn't actually go backwards, but I don't believe it goes forwards. It's straight up in the air. And at that point, Joe Mellor picks it up. There's no fumble there. Now, for me, I wasn't sure whether Adam Sidlow got this ball down.
It's a clean pickup from Joe Mellor.
Let's have a look at the grounding. Is the big man good enough to get this ball down? With 3 Tigers defenders around him. There it is.
Has he got it down?
No.
Or has
He hasn't at that point, unless he does it in the next 2 or 3 seconds. No, he celebrates too soon for me.
Or did he get it down before?
I don't think he did. I don't think he did, Bill.
I think he got it down before he then rolled.
Let's have a look. I think this is the angle that will tell us the best story. At that point, when he goes down, does that ball hit the floor? No, not on that angle. Tremendous defence.
Jake Truman saves the try.
Truman. You can see, can't you? He's not trying to out-muscle. He grabs hold of the ball. He's almost snatching the ball away from Sidlow, using the weight of Sidlow against himself, effectively.
It's a passive tackle, isn't it? It's the part of the field where you don't need to be aggressive. You just need to control the ball and make sure it's not grounded.
I very often in situations like this, I look at the face of the player. The player gives it away.
James Charles sent it up as a try, didn't he?
He did, but he did the previous one in the first half, didn't it? Was that a player that was held up in the first half?
It was Chase Blair lost the ball, didn't he, in the tackle. He ended up not, he hadn't grounded it.
I think the more times you watch it, the more confident that you are that Jake Truman has done a remarkable job. He pulls it out of the grasp of Sidlow, who regathers it but just doesn't put it down.
Maybe I'm impatient, but I think you've got to make a decision now.
Yeah, it's no
Chris
try.
Kendall is the video ref.
I felt at full speed it was no try, but it's important we have a look and confirm that.
For how long though, Barry?
I'm with you. 2 or 3 goals.
There you go.
Let's crack on.
Here's your decision. And it is no try.
Now, did he keep hold of the ball or did he drop the ball?
And they've just to rub salt into Sidlow's wounds. They said he's lost possession.
He's saying me because we saw it a couple of times, didn't we? Jake Truman had a snatch at the ball. The referee and Chris Kendall, the video ref, have said, no, you dropped that ball. You let go of it.
Well, that is a major miss for the Wolfpack.
Could have got them right in this game, wouldn't it?
Right back in the hunt. The Castleford Tigers would have been a little bit rattled.
You'd have backed them to get the goal, so that would have been 16 points to 28.
But there's been encouragement in this second half for the Wolfpack.
Better, more methodology to what they were doing.
bit more sting in defence as well. There's Milner, first half try scorer.
They've done that too many times for me, Castleford Tigers. They've been able to keep the feet, catching that late defender. So there's 3 defenders in there. That late retreating one, Sidlow, if he's back in position before the ball's played, then Toronto win. If he's not, then Castleford Tigers win. And Cas, for me, have dominated that part of the game.
Here's Milner once again. That's the 5th tackle. And the ball with Richardson, who dinks one into the corner, and it's Maludi who comes from it. I beg your pardon, it's Matty Russell who comes for it. Former Warrington man. Here is Sonny Bill. First real run from Sonny Bill, actually. He's been content to just shift the ball on, hasn't he? But
he isn't a battering ram. That's not what you're going to get from Sonny Bill Williams.
He's Maludi. Little shimmy from Maludi.
He's got a full box of tricks, Sonny Bill Williams. It's maybe about finding the right tools for the right game.
Mellor. Oof, Mellor is clobbered by Massey. Legitimately.
This is the last tackle. What are they doing? What's happening?
It's with McCrone. McCrone, they're running it. That's what they're doing. Here's Maludi. Maludi onto Kay. Now then, Kay has got the pace. Kay is tackled, though. But again, adventurous from the Toronto Wolfpack. And it needed a good tackle from Truman to stop Liam Kay.
They've stuck with it, haven't they? They've stuck with it. It's a tactic they used to great effect last year in the Championship. They haven't found the space or scored the tries this afternoon.
Here is Eden. Thankfully, seems no worse for that horrible-looking knee problem he suffered. Back in action. Matautia now. 11 minutes or so on the clock. And the Castleford Tigers heading for a round 1 win in Super League. But as mentioned, they've got a very tough prospect coming up next at the Menderhose Jungle when they face the Wigan Warriors. As Richardson hoists the kick, he's given that one some height. Blake Wallace comes for it, claims it.
Well taken. Under pressure, wasn't it? You could hear Peter Matautia collects that ball. Another deep set of 6, just restricting the air of the Toronto Wolfpack, making them come away from their own line. SPW again, getting in, rolling his sleeves up.
He's got plenty of game time here today. There was a suspicion that he might only see the last 10-15 minutes as Latelli makes a good run.
Well, you say he's not played rugby league for over 5 years. He still remembered to play the ball with his foot when he does get tackled.
Sidlow's pass on. McShane has snapped it up. McShane will try and get away. The pass wasn't good, though, and it's Truman who manages to scramble on top of the ball. A couple of errors from both sides there. The Wolfpack pass again going astray.
You could see Paul McShane, couldn't you, as he gets this ball. He pins his ears back and thinks, I'm away, forces an offload, and when he gets up and sees that a teammate of his has got hold of it, his body language is, sorry about that, lads, let's just calm down.
Here's Jordan Rankin. 30 metres out now, the Castleford Tigers. Milner's pass to Richardson. Richardson to Chase Blair. Blair stumbles, tackled the former Melbourne Storm man. That's the 5th, and the ball is with McShane. McShane will kick cross-field, but straight out of play.
Bounces, doesn't it, before it goes over the sideline. Not the best kick, not the intended kick. I think he wanted to put it right on top of the head of Liam Kay. Darryl Powell is satisfied with 45-50 minutes of this game. You know that his side have dropped off ever so slightly in the second half. It's difficult sometimes when you go in at 22 points to 4 to keep your side motivated. Round 1, game 1, the first half, they were pretty good, the Tigers, and Brian McDermott, as the Toronto coach, only lost 1 match when he got his side in at half-time. He had some important information, and they have stemmed that flow, and they have been better in the second half.
Russell with the run, but the referee has penalised the Castleford Tigers in back play. Somebody was held.
It was a late offload from Miludi, and then he's flicked onto the ground here, but he doesn't overreact, and the referee eventually, when the play comes to an end, awards a penalty to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, it's back up, Paul. Just wait for the foot.
So that'll allow them to make a bit of progress. Miludi taps it. He doesn't lack confidence, does he, Hakim Miludi?
I was just thinking when you said that Miludi doesn't overreact, you're not going to say that too many times.
He doesn't play the game like almost every other player, the other 300+ players in Super League. He does things differently, which makes him dangerous.
Olbison, the head strapped. Cunningham, Mellor. Ooh, Mellor chased Blair very quickly, closes him down and stops his progress emphatically. Cunningham's pass, and it's Wilkin. Finds Gadwin Springer. French international Springer, French Guyanan born, and Macron running. That's the last, and there's a knock-on at the play the ball by the Toronto Wolfpack. Macron says, me? No hint of what Brian McDermott's thinking there, but just too many of those sort of little
Let's have a look
moments.
at this. I'm not sure where the knock-on is there.
Where's the knock-on?
We are trying to clean the ball up. You know what he's done? He's played it with his foot. That's his mistake.
Hey, you've got to feel sorry for Jack Wellsby. He seems to be the only other player who's been penalised this weekend for not playing it with his foot. The first 2 points to Salford the other night.
I think the referees had said to one another, we've got one penalty to give away, don't waste it.
So the fact that an opposition player is infringing, has got his hands in there, is now incidental. If you haven't played it with your foot.
Crazy. I was delighted when I heard they were going to smarten it up, tidy it up, whatever phrase you want to use, but I'm not sure we've seen it.
Not at the neglect of other aspects.
No, we've talked about it, but not done it. And I don't want to see the referees blow the pee out the whistle for mindless penalties at the play of the ball. Just want to see it cleaner, better, slicker.
McShane, Massey now. 6 minutes on the clock. Castleford Tigers on course for this round 1 victory. The side that finished 5th, and Milner, that's good chasing back by Sonny Bill. It's 6 to go, says the referee. No, he's not. He's brought it back.
Knock on, lovely stuff from Paul McShane, who's growing in influence in this game. Running from dummy half. A lovely, beautiful one-handed offload. The referee judged that the ball was stripped by Sonny Bill Williams as he catches it, Adam Milner. But nice support play. May well have a case, but that's the knock-on in the referee's opinion. As he regathers it, Jake Truman.
Okay, let's set up. Same again.
Toronto 10, the Castleford Tigers 28, and this will be the lowest points tally for the Wolfpack since they lost to London in the £1 million game in 2018. What was that, 4-2?
Tom, up and square.
That was the game that won London promotion to Super League. They weren't able to sustain that, maintain that, despite a valiant effort.
Danny Ward's men shocked the world, didn't they, winning that match?
Well, the London Broncos won 10 games last season. That was still not enough to avoid the drop. It was points difference that did for them. And that just shows possibly the scale of the task facing the Toronto Wolfpack. 5 minutes to go, just under. Castleford Tigers, and Richardson will get an extra point. No, he hasn't. I beg your pardon. He's missed it. Well,
scuffed it.
You'd have put your house on that one.
Yeah, I think sometimes players under no pressure. Danny Richardson, a player that thrives on pressure, probably too relaxed. Strokes that ball.
He hit it well enough.
And it's not accurate enough. Old Faithful just starting to ring out to our left again. As we've said before, Castleford fans, Hull FC fans, Toronto fans, all united in their hatred of Leeds as we see Hakim Miludi.
Now they're making a mistake. He's made the mistake, and
has he overreacted?
No, somebody's just patted him on the head like just to wind him up a bit. And
I'm all right. right, leave me alone. He's trying to play this ball. There is a hand in from Adam Milner. It's probably up, for me, it's up to the ball carrier to keep hold of that.
Head in, John. Look off. Out.
John Wilkin just stepping in as peacemaker there.
One, move. Hold.
Last few minutes then, with Massey for the Castleford Tigers.
Two, move. James,
And
back up, mate.
Toronto have shown up better in the second half. He's conceding the one try. It's a try apiece, in fact, in the second half. Watts, beg your pardon, Milner run around, and that's good defence. Good defence from the Wolfpack, and that's been better from them in the second half, hasn't it?
They've defended. There's been more steel in that defence from the Toronto Wolfpack. It's a nice run around, as you said. Paul McShane, he's finished this game really strongly.
On you.
Tyler Heppy has shown up well for me. Like watching him play. He loves his job, doesn't he? He loves running hard. And you get the impression, don't you, the harder the players against him hitting, the more excited he gets.
Truman's little kick ricochets, and it's back in Truman's arms, but then Truman loses it, and it's Josh McCrone, and the referee will bring him back. And there's an offside for Toronto, I think, as that ball came back. It came back to a player in an offside position. Scrappy end to this game.
Just wait, mate. Just wait.
But it must be exciting for those Castleford Tigers fans to see what threat Richardson, Truman, Rankin and Paul McShane, the spine of any good side, is always prominent, no matter what the scoreline says. But the number 9, Paul McShane, has been right at the heart of everything for me.
Truman's pass. Liam Watts out there, and that's good defence again from the Wolfpack. Well, and Maludi celebrates, McCrone celebrates.
He's an energizer, isn't it, Hakim Maludi? When he does something right, his teammates react. He's a big man to handle, Liam Watts. 3 players drive him over the touchline, over the sideline. Hakim Maludi, shoulder into the ribs, clinging onto the ball until his teammates, Liam Kay, I think it's Josh McCrone, lend their way. Not good for the ego of Liam Watts, that one, being pushed into touch by 3 backs.
So a try apiece in this second half. It's much more like it from the Wolfpack. Do you think Brian McDermott will take more from this 40 minutes?
Brian McDermott has been around the block 1,000 times. He knows that no Super League campaign is determined on day one, on the first half of any game. He knows that there's a lot of improvement got to happen with his side. Very defence-orientated, Brian McDermott, in his approach to the game, but he loves to see his players express themselves. As we said a couple of times, he probably didn't invest enough in that opening 30 minutes into the defensive elements of the game, but they definitely got better.
That's a high tackle on McCrone.
Paul McShane.
McCrone felt that as well.
Yeah, you could hear it, couldn't you? He jumps up, doesn't it, McShane? You can see him, the number 9, working hard, and the minute he steps off that left foot, he goes into the path of Paul McShane.
Well, they've quickly taken the penalty. They're in the final seconds of the game. Can they come up with the last play of the game? Hooter's gone. Can they come up with something here? What's Maludi going to do? He's going to run across the field initially, and then he's going to do it all on his own. Is Hakim Maludi? He's trying to. Eventually, that's going to be the end of things, and he could have hoisted that one, a Hail Mary kick if he wanted to, but in the end, that's the final play of the game. Darryl Powell will be satisfied to have got off to a winning start. For Brian McDermott, it's the knowledge that after a sketchy first half, when they were 22-4 down, in the second half they've held their own. It's a try and a goal apiece, and it's finished Toronto 10, the Castleford Tigers 28. No dream start.